I think one of the most interesting things in science, at least in my field, but I think it's pretty representative, that there's no amount of convincing, no amount of work that you could put in that will ever change people's minds. And it's a relatively well understood, I think, like people that are in the research game is that often, what people have sort of proposed, and I'm not sure who it was. Maybe it was Thomas Kuhn. But basically, research is scientific areas progress basically through the death of the founders, right? So basically, the communicating is that how we move forward is when the forefathers kind of give up, right? Like to sort of move out of the arena and allow research to sort of move forward. And I do strongly sort of abide by that. There's often really strongly held beliefs in what things are and what they look like, and it's very difficult to that convince anybody of essentially of that their ideas were maybe not as well suited under certain contexts, that they were very well suited under other contexts, but not as well suited in some other ones. And so you have to be very it's a very challenging sort of relationship where you're both complementing and also challenging the existing ideas. And usually the existing ideas are representations of the existing people that provided the ideas. And I think it's super fascinating because of this challenge that you will not convince anybody, right? Like there is no amount of convicting. Some people are malleable, right? Like there is personality traits and sort of contexts and situations where people are more malleable than others and under different circumstances. But you'll find out that it's very challenging to move the needle in that convincing of what people, convincing people of ideas. And I think that this is true of many circumstances, but I think, in the academic game, academic research, it tends to be much more pronounced because that's our career is often shaping ideas and, forming different ideas. And, careers are made people make lots of money. They make far less money depending on the sort of sculpting of ideas. And you have to, what's the takeaway? How do you get around this? You can't convince people, right? Like ultimately, I've learned that many times before is you can't convince if people are skeptical, they don't get it, they don't understand, no amount of data will ever show anybody that's skeptical. You will not be able to get people to do something. And so what do you do is you have to take a step back and say, okay, given that is something that will not move, it's fixed in time, how do I address this? How do I pursue it in a slightly different way? And I'm not saying, you know, um, tainted or lie or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is you have to embrace the context and learn how to resell what you're trying to say in a different way, such that it's no longer viewed as confrontational or no longer viewed as like you're trying to convince somebody of something. And that it's like selling, right? I think like a good context is sales, right? Like you may come across and say, I'm trying to sell this product, and people are not going to see it. You're not going to convince them that this product actually is valuable, and they're going to put up their back. But you have to come about it as figuring out how to communicate what you're trying to say in such a way that those concerns are often a given or understood or actually the thing that you're trying to address. And once you come across that way, right, you just basically, you're not trying to, negate the market. You're not trying to say that it's flawed. You're not trying to discount anything, but you're coming across it in such a way that you're recognizing the sensitivities of what's going on and acknowledging it and embracing it. Well, that's the thing that requires a great deal of mental work, a lot of personal development, huge amounts of personal development for yourself, is to recognize no amount of convincing is ever going to change anybody. And so it's your job to come about and think about what you're saying is unique and interesting and exciting, and to get other people to come along on your journey. I think that that is one of the strongest, most powerful things to do. And the problem is not them. The problem is you. And I want you to internalize that. The problem is you. Figure out how you can change yourself, not somebody else. And if you can do that, by golly, you're going to make a lot of progress in your life. Take care and have a wonderful day.